The next verse of La Vie En Rose goes, Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il me dit des mots d'amour means he tells me words of love. Des mots de tous les jours, everyday words, et ça me fait quelque chose, and it does something to me. So she's saying here that it doesn't matter if he's whispering sweet nothings to her or just talking about plain old everyday things. It just does something to her. The word dit in il me dit comes from the verb dire, which means to tell or to say. It's another irregular verb. In the present tense, you get je dis, which means I say or I tell. Tu dis, you say or you tell. Il dit, he says or he tells. Elle dit, she says or she tells. Nous disons, we say or we tell. Vous dites, you say or you tell. And ils disent, they say or they tell. The past participle is dit, D-I-T. So, j'ai dit means I said or I told. There are a couple of useful expressions that you can say with dire. Comment ça se dit? Comment ça se dit means how do you say it? Literally it means how does it say itself? Comment ça se dit? Comment ça se dit en français? Comment ça se dit en français? How do you say it in French? Comment ça se dit maison en anglais? Comment ça se dit maison en anglais? How do you say maison in English? Of course, you can also just say comment dit-on? Comment dit-on? Which literally means how does one say? Comment dit-on? Comment dit-on ces trois couleurs en italien? Comment dit-on ces trois couleurs en italien? How do you say these three colors in Italian? Another expression is ça veut dire. Ça veut dire, which means it means. Or literally, it wants to say. Ça veut dire. Je ne sais pas ce que ça veut dire. Je ne sais pas ce que ça veut dire. I don't know what it means. Ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire quoi? What does it mean? Ça va sans dire. Ça va sans dire. It goes without saying. Comment dire? Comment dire? That's a nice expression to mean, how can I put this? Comment dire? Dire adieu à quelque chose. Dire adieu à quelque chose literally means to say goodbye, as in the forever goodbye to something. But in English, we have the expression to kiss something goodbye. Dire adieu à quelque chose. For example, je pense que tu peux dire adieu à ta promotion. Je pense que tu peux dire adieu à ta promotion. I think you can kiss goodbye to your promotion. In the phrase des mots de tous les jours, the de tous les jours bit can be added onto the end of anything to say that it's an everyday occurrence. For example, c'est un bon exemple de tous les jours. C'est un bon exemple de tous les jours. It's a good everyday example. Des chaussures de tous les jours. Des chaussures de tous les jours. Some everyday shoes. Ça fait partie de ma vie de tous les jours. Ça fait partie de ma vie de tous les jours. It's a part of my everyday life. So, Édith Piaf is singing about her lover when she says, Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. When he takes me in his arms, he speaks to me in a whisper, I see life in pink. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. He says loving words to me, everyday words, and it does something to me. The next bit goes, il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. Il est entré dans mon cœur means he has entered into my heart. So the verb entrer is a verb of movement. I don't know whether you've learnt them or not, but they are a group of verbs that are conjugated into the past tense a little differently, in that they don't use avoir as their auxiliary, instead they use être. So you say, je suis entré for I went in or I entered. Tu es entré means you went in or you entered. Il est entré, he went in or he entered. Elle est entrée, she went in or she entered. Nous sommes entrés, we went in or we entered. Vous êtes entré, you went in or you entered. And ils sont entrés, they went in or they entered. You might have noticed that the past participle changes for some of the persons. That's because when you use être as the auxiliary verb, the past participle has to agree with the subject. So you add an e if the subject is feminine, and you add an s if the subject is plural. Some common verbs of movement include aller, which means to go, retourner means to return, venir means to come, arriver means to arrive, sortir means to go out, and entrer, as we've seen, means to go in or to enter. Une part de bonheur means a piece of happiness. The word bonheur is a masculine noun meaning happiness, but it can also be translated as joy or pleasure or even luck. Par bonheur means as luck would have it, or luckily. There's actually a French idiom, dans du bonheur. It literally means lucky teeth. If you have a gap in your front teeth in France, it's considered to be very lucky, and they say that you have dans du bonheur. The gap in France is seen as an alluring feature. The last bit, dont je connais la cause, means that I know the cause of, referring to the bit of happiness that she mentioned in the previous line. Une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. Une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. A piece of happiness that I know the cause of. The word dont is another one of those relative pronouns. If you look at this sentence in English, here's the house I was talking about. You'll see it ends in a preposition, about. In French, you would have to say, here's the house about which I was talking. The verb to talk about in French is parler de. The about which part is dont. So you would say, voici la maison dont je parlais. Voici la maison dont je parlais. Here is the house I was talking about. Let's look at some other examples. Le noir est la seule chose dont j'ai peur. Le noir est la seule chose dont j'ai peur. The dark is the only thing I'm scared of. L'organisation dont je fais partie s'appelle. L'organisation dont je fais partie s'appelle. The organization that I'm part of is called. So literally it means the organization of which I'm part. Or in the last sentence, the dark is the only thing of which I'm scared. Mon fils est un homme dont je suis fier. Mon fils est un homme dont je suis fier. My son is a man that I'm proud of. Or literally, my son is a man of whom I'm proud. So dont can mean of which or of whom. So we've now had Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. Which means Il est entré dans mon cœur, he entered my heart, une part de bonheur, a piece of happiness, dont je connais la cause, that I know the cause of, or literally, of which I know the cause.